Hey guys, Low Tech RC here. I've had a couple requests to do a breakdown on the build for this Jeep that I did, so I thought I'd go ahead and take time and explain to you guys what I did on this build and maybe to help you out. Hope you enjoy. All right, guess we'll start with the chassis. Remove the body. To the side. Okay, so I started with the Axial SCX10 2000 Jeep Cherokee kit, mainly because it came with the low CG transmission, which is also 2-speed capable or dig mod capable, because it doesn't interfere with the body. If you use the regular RTR or the build kit, it comes with the other transmission that causes you to kind of have to hack up the interior. The only real mods that had to be done was the removal of the receiver box, which when I did it, I didn't have a Dremel, so it's not the cleanest cut. As well as the removal of that corner of the battery box. Eventually I'm going to get down and shave a little bit more off of these side plates just to make the body fit a little cleaner. But for the most part, it went together pretty painlessly. When thinking about what I was going to do with this, I knew that the Xtraspeed body was kind of heavy, so I knew that the motor and servo choices I had to make were going to have to be a little stronger than normal. So after watching quite a few of the Holmes Hobbies videos, I decided to go with the Crawlmaster Pro series 550 10-turn motor, which it's a 5-slot motor, so the 10-turn I believe works out to be around a 27. But it's got plenty of speed, plenty of torque. Very, very happy with that motor. I'm probably going to use that on any of my next builds as well. And because of the weight of it, I knew the servo was going to have to be pretty stout as well. So I decided to go with, I don't know if you can see, the Savox SA1230 SG, as well as an aluminum servo horn. Those were, you know, not the cheapest on the market, but they're definitely not the most expensive. I think I wound up about 70 bucks in on that. And that motor ran me about $99. Both came off of eBay. As far as ESC choices, I decided to go with that Hobby Wing 1080 because of the programmability of it, and it got a lot of good reviews. And I have to say, for $42 servo, it's definitely the most bang for the buck I've seen. As far as shocks, I'm still running the aluminum body Icon shocks that come with the kit. Just, you know, they work well. No need to change it. As far as the rest of the chassis, it's stock. I didn't change the shock hoops. No special bracing or anything like that had to happen. I've also not changed any of the axles, any of the links. This one is the one on this kit that comes with the thicker links than the RTR or the builder's kit. Or I don't know if the builder's kit comes with them or not, but I know the RTRs don't come with these thick ones that are actually tapered, so they take away the possibility of hanging up when you're sliding it across things. One thing that I would have done if I had a Dremel when I built this was to ground out and notch this area a little bit more, because it's supposed to give you a little more travel, and that's something I may do in the future. For anybody that's looking to change over to this transmission to use the Xtraspeed body, or if they're looking for the 2-speed option, this plate is different than a regular builder's kit or an RTR. It bolts up differently, so that's something you'll have to look into procuring if you're going to do that. As far as wheels and tires, these are TFLs, and I found them new old stock and was able to get a really good deal on all 5 of them, so I do have the matching spare. And on any of the other videos that you may have seen this Jeep in, I was running the BF Goodrich, the Proline BF Goodrich Crawler TA in the Predator compound. But I had these Class 1 series high racks, and I wasn't using them, and I thought, you know, because of the other scale items that I've done on this rig, I thought, well, you know, the tires kind of need to go with it too if it's going to fit into that category. So I switched over to these, and I haven't ran them yet, but we'll see what happens next time I'm able to get it on the rocks. These bumpers I was able to get from Amazon, and they're a brand called KYX, and I like it because they were, you know, a lot narrower, and on a Jeep that's the profile I wanted because of the approach angle being so much better. And it had a winch mount and metal links, and they're metal, so you know, that was kind of a no-brainer. So I went with the Warn winch, and to be able to run this Warn winch, I had to buy this Racing winch controller, and this is the one that has the dip switches in it that lets you choose exactly what type of switch you're going to use to control it. And I'm using a 6-channel FlySky radio and receiver, mainly because I wanted the extra channels to be able to run lighting and the winch and other things like that. So I've got mine set up to where on my controller it has a 3-position switch underneath it, where the center is off, and then obviously front lets the winch extend out, and then towards the rear lets it retract back in, and then to the center is back off again. The wiring on this isn't the best in the world. This is the first build that I've done. So, you know, I kind of tucked what I could and pushed some wires down in and tried to get them out of the way where they wouldn't hang on anything. You know, maybe later I can figure out a way that'll look better, possibly shorten some wires and repin the plugs, but you know, that's not really a huge priority for me right now. With the Xtraspeed Jeep body, it comes with a magnetic body mounts, and they go right into the standard body post holes. You can adjust the height of them, and you know, with screws they attach right on the top with these neodymium magnets. They work really well. I'm really surprised that, you know, I haven't lost the body, you know, more than a couple of times on the rocks, but I like it. The only things that I had to do, you know, as far as the chassis goes, like I said, it was, you know, notch that out, you know, take this off. Had to take this bumper mount out of the front just because this bumper mount's on the outside of the frame. But all in all, I'm, you know, really happy with how all of that turned out. And I'm running XT90 plugs just because, you know, obviously the more current I can get to the electronics, the better it'll work. Okay, now moving on to the body. Let me set this to the side. This is just it's an Xtraspeed Jeep hard body that I got from A-Main. And the only things that I've done with it really is I painted the top with, to me, a flat clear to give it the same finish as the hood scoop and the Angry Grill and the fenders. And it turned out exactly like I wanted it to. My rack is a 3D printed rack that came from RC Voodoo, who has a channel on YouTube as well. And I encourage you to go find him and check his stuff out. It's a great channel. You know, inside of it is just, you know, your standard scale stuff, some 3D printed sand ladders and jack and some, you know, utility stuff. Got some wood bundles that I got from Hobby Lobby. You know, retrieval cable. Got the axial ammo boxes painted green. It comes in every axial kit that you can buy. And I was lucky enough that the 56 LED light bar that I chose to go with was exactly perfect width-wise to mount onto the rack, so there was less holes that I actually had to put in the body itself. And it's probably one of the brightest light bars that I've seen yet. Had to drill a small hole, you know, for the wires to go through, and I covered them with some black Gorilla tape to keep you from being able to see the, you know, the red and the black wires under there. As far as the rest of it, I wanted to put a dog in it, so I wound up taking the solid windows and used a Dremel to cut out there. I cut it right where the pillar is in the window, where there still has a quarter window where it looks like it would be rolled down, and I glued the dog inside with some shoe goo. On this side, if you can see, there's a little whiskey bottle and a pack of Camels, and it has a CB, because who goes off-road without a CB? This switch here that I've got under the dash, I've yet to glue in place yet, but this is the switch that controls the headlights. I decided not to go with a standard headlight bulb. I went with the setup that has the red halo ring around it, and that switch turns the center LED headlights on. To mount these, what I did was take my regular body reamer and basically go right in where the hole is and just keep going until it was the right diameter to slide the light assembly in, and then once it was in there and it was tight in place, I just glued it. So I don't plan on ever taking it out. The magnetic body mounts have to be glued into place, and I've yet to lose one. The glue is held on great. It's, you know, it's worked out good. As far as inside here, I did have to notch a little bit just to make room for where the battery sits, but it's not visible from inside the body. And as you can see here, I've got this switch glued in the passenger or the driver's side door, or in the floorboard inside. I don't know if it's very visible, but it's right down in there. And the driver I chose was one I picked up at Target. It just happened to be a Call of Duty Modern Warfare figure that's a 6-inch figure, which fits in these better. As far as other scale items, in the back, I've got a little milk crate with a retrieval strap and some jumper cables that I got off of eBay that are 3D printed, and they come in white, and I had to do all of the painting to make them look real. And then there's a small bottle of oil there. And then in the back here is an Arctic cooler. And fire extinguisher, and I put most of this stuff in with 3M tape, just because I'm sure at some point I'll try to move some stuff around or add to it or take away, and it's a lot easier to remove that. Some of these little stickers that I've got, you know, I got the RC Voodoo sticker when I ordered the rack from him, but this bumper sticker and the Scale Builders Guild and this came out of the sticker pack that came with the Element RC Enduro Sendero. So, you know, I just picked up stuff from here and there. Sometimes I had to order parts, like from RC Crawler Country sent me one with an item that I bought from them. And, you know, obviously the Warn and the ARB, you know, when I bought some of the other items. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. It's been a fun build. At some points it was kind of challenging, but with, you know, watching other people's YouTube channels, I kind of see how they overcame some of their obstacles, and, you know, it went together great. I'm very happy with it. Other than being top heavy, obviously, because of how much this thing weighs, it does great on the rocks. You just have to be a little more careful about how you drive it. A little more finesse involved with keeping it all four wheels down. But it's like I said, it's been a fun build. You know, after I had a few videos of it on YouTube, just running it through the rocks. Someone asked, if I would do a build breakdown on it. I thought, that's something I haven't done yet. I don't have any videos with anything on the bench, so thought I'd try my hand at it. So if you got any questions how I mounted something, or if you've got an idea on the way you mounted it that worked out better, please let me know. If you've got any ideas or other channels that you might want me to check out, I'm always up for that. But if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like. Share it with your friends. I'm going to try to do more in the future, possibly one coming up on the Element RC Sendero truck that I'm working on. It's going to be a mud truck. Should have that about ready next week to go ahead and put on the bench and maybe do a build breakdown on it. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I appreciate it. Thanks.